Hello, dishonest flat earthers. This is a test that all of you should already have done. You have taken your camera up to somewhere high. In this case, for me, it was Mount Dandenong, about 600 meters above sea level, and tried simply to prove whether or not the horizon rises to eye level. On this day, it was a beautiful blue sky, but it was a bit lame looking out in the distance. But as we can see, the horizon, I don't know, inconclusive, okay? So there we go, about 600 meters, you can't really tell. Whoa, hey, okay, now we're in the plane. So you'll see on the left side, the pitch there, that is that's the left-right basic flatness, left to right. The roll is forward and backward for the phone. So the roll is determining whether or not we are looking level. So at many distances, starting at about the couple of thousand meters, you can obviously see that the horizon is not rising to eye level. It is a ridiculous claim that every single flat earther should have at least tried to experiment themselves by now. They just keep saying this stuff, and it is 100% not true. All of you could now say, yes, look at these doctored photos, rah, rah, rah. This is just how easy it is, though. You guys just, next time you're in a plane, point it out the window and try some photos. Which is that Rob Skiba guy went onto a plane and filmed his two phones sitting on his tea table thing. Never looked out the window. Never tried to see if the horizon rises to eye level. But we'll keep saying that sort of stuff. All of the flat earthers say this sort of stuff. Anyway, you just got to stop. You can't keep saying it because it's not true. You are being purposefully dishonest to yourselves and to others by continuing to say this ridiculous thing. This next section I like to call Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, How I Wonder What You Are. Because the shape of the earth can be proved with the stars and not even the motion, because that's weirdly, crazily confusing a lot of people anyway. So let's just go instantaneous freeze frame in time with you and a friend in Kansas, because we all know that Kansas is flatter than a pancake, 400 miles long. So good place to try something. So you and your mate, you go down to the bottom or the south, east and west corners. Bam, there you go. That's your starting point of your positions. Here you are, there's your two guys. And you wait till nighttime and you look east and you call each other up. Now, the guy in the west, he can see Jupiter. And the guy in the east, he can see Jupiter and another thing underneath it. He goes, what's that? Oh, it's Spica. And the guy in the west goes, well, that's weird. I can only see Jupiter. And then the guy in the east goes, well, no, I'm telling you, there's this other thing under it called Spica. And they go, okay, well, this is confusing. Let's zoom in. Let's have a bit of an explanation of what's going on here. So the guy in the east, he can see Jupiter. The guy in the west also sees Jupiter. Now, the guy in the east can see Spica, but the guy in the west can't see Spica. So they both say, hey, I know, let's turn this whole experiment, flip it 180 degrees, let's look west. So now the guys look west. Now the guy in the east, he can see Mars there. And the guy in the west, he can see Mars and this other bright thing beneath it. And he goes, what's that bright thing? Oh, it's Mercury. Cool. So he says to the guy in the east, hey, can you see Mars and Mercury? And he goes, no, I can only see Mars. The guy in the west says, well, I can see Mars and Mercury. So what's happening there? See, again, here we go. Both guys can see Mars. And we put in Mercury. Only the guy in the west can see Mercury. So one of them says, well, what about atmospheric conditions and things that can change it? And we might not know what we're seeing. And the guy goes, well, yeah, but the stars are always the same distance apart. The constellations are always the same. So it's not like they're down on the horizon getting all squished together and then they spread apart as they rise up. They're always the same. So something must be in the way. And Kansas is like flat. So, well, I mean, maybe it's a hill. Maybe there's like an obstruction thing that we can't see or something. And then they sort of start thinking, well, maybe that's what it is. It is an obstruction that we can't see. It's this imperceptibly curved surface that's in the way between, like, blocking our sight. But it's so imperceivable, it seems flat. What a, whoa, crazy, crazy idea. And so they try that somewhere else, and they find the same thing. They find another flat place somewhere, and they try the exact same experiment, but there's this weird obstruction at an instantaneous point of time. Then they do it over water, because they think, well, water must be flat, water doesn't curve, but they find the exact same thing, that there's something blocking both of them seeing the stars on the horizon that the other guys see. Then they swap directions. They now point north and south and try it again, over water, over land, and they find the exact same thing, that there's something in the way blocking those horizon stars. So after one observation, they find that the Earth might look like this. After two observations, they're starting to do a little bit of something. Three observations, they got a bit crazy. Why not? It still sort of fits. Four observations. Hopefully you can see what's going on now, is by more and more observations of this simple fact, as we can start to make a shape. And the only shape that works is the sphere. The only shape that will make all of these observations actually fit together. And if you keep doing them one by one, you'll end up with a sphere. There is no other way to look at all of this. And anyone that says that it doesn't matter what the stars are, or we shouldn't use the stars because we don't know what they are, it's just crazy talk. They have been the same forever. And I guess really it doesn't matter what they are, because they've just been the same. There's one thing we can count on, is the stars are the same. So, look, it's obviously a sphere, and every single one of you that don't accept these two things that I've just said, you're lying to yourself and others. So stop it.